Yeah, the idea is that the majority of people now understand that this is, of course, dangerous climate change that is human caused, that is behind the absolute extremes of weather that we're now seeing. Ask any gardener, ask any farmer, anyone who is close to nature and to what is happening knows that nature is being horribly disrupted. And we are seeing records tumble now. Everything is unfolding in the kind of way that scientists warned us that it would, with one difference, which is that things are actually happening in some important respects faster and frankly more terrifyingly than we were told that they would. And that's the nature of the beast here. Let me be very clear. This carries on getting worse forever until we tackle the root causes of it, unless and until we systematically reduce our dependence upon fossil fuels. There will be more and more worse and worse climate disasters without end.
Dr. Reid, we've been asking our viewers to message us. Wayne says, I'm not concerned by the heat wave at all. 23 years ago, I spent a week in Madrid with temperatures of 45 degrees. I mean, as you said, those records recently speak for themselves. But a question there, Rick from Bury says, if everyone in the UK stopped using fossil fuels for 1 year, would the global temperature reduce? How long would it really take to bring down the temperature?
Sorry, to pick up on that, actually, Dr. Reid, when we were living in COVID, right, and this was probably the least we've ever seen human movement, when it came to fossil fuels, driving, etc. Did that make much of a difference?
So that's a really interesting question. The answer is yes, it did make a significant difference, that carbon emissions dropped by about 7 to 8% in that year. Now, that's the kind of rate they need to drop at every year if we are to get anywhere near the targets that have been set and agreed by the international community to keep us anything like remotely safe in the difficult future we are moving into. So that gives you some kind of scale of some kind of sense of the nature of the problem and just how deep it runs. We need to achieve the kind of reductions that were achieved in the COVID year every year from now on. The whole of society is going to have to swing behind this effort if it is going to be an effort that is successful. And in terms of the question about how long is it going to take, it's a really interesting question. Scientists disagree about it to some extent, but the bottom line is it's going to take quite a long time, because some of the things that you do in order to seek to reduce the level of carbon and other dangerous gases in the atmosphere, they don't have an immediate effect. It's important to be clear, for example, that the carbon dioxide we put up into the atmosphere, it stays there for hundreds of years unless it gets removed by, for example, planting trees. So we need to start way ahead of the curve, if you understand me. If we want to have an impact on making life better for our children and our grandchildren, we need to start now.
Dr. Rupert Reid, always interesting, and we'll possibly see some more records broken in the next few weeks. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.